We've seen volumes coming through, especially driven by foreign investor purchases over the last 2 days. And so we've seen large block trades going through mainly the large caps, Safaricom, East African Breweries, KCB and Equity Bank.
How about KPLC? I see there's been some activity in that. They had a rights issue late last year. We're waiting for the results of that rights issue to come out. Also attracting some interest?
Yes, certainly. KPLC as well has seen quite a bit of volumes coming through, a bit of position taking. It appears investors are quite positive that the subscription level will be, at least the company will be able to raise the required funds. And so on the back of that, we've seen a bit of purchases. It's eased off a little bit ahead of the announcement next week on the allocation criteria. But more or less, it's held on quite well.
Looking at the banks, Equity Bank can also be moving up in decent volumes. It was up 2.75% yesterday. This is the bank where there has been some activity within the bank, really looking at the mobile banking space, and it looks like that's being taken well by the market.
Yeah, certainly. Equity Bank is really the only bank that now has integrated with most mobile firms. So really, with your number, you can actually get a banking product. You can borrow, you can save, you can get an insurance product through your mobile phone. And Equity Bank has been able to do that and integrate it with its system. And given the regulations that the central bank is planning to regulate the mobile transfer system to really provide it as an account, I think Equity Bank already has a head start on that front, and I think investors are buying into that.
Another bank that has been attracting lots of interest, KCB, Kenya Commercial Bank, over 2 million shares changing hands yesterday. It looks like KCB is busy looking at trying to grow its lending book.
Yeah, certainly. KCB raised funds last year, and it's looking to deploy those funds both in Kenya and on the regional front. Obviously, they do have competition. Most of the other banks also have been putting a lot of effort towards pushing their loan book, and we've seen that particularly picking up in the last probably 2-3 weeks, probably January. We've seen most of the banks quite keen to push their loan books.
Eric, East African Breweries closed a little lower yesterday, 211 shillings, 97% of trade though by foreign investors. And this is a company that's been affected by the new alcohol control bill, which was signed into law in September. And any idea of how that might have impacted December sales, particularly on Christmas Eve and Christmas Day when that law took effect?
Yeah, the law basically took effect during the busiest time for East African breweries. So December, that's when the Alcoholic Drinks Control Act sort of came into force. And really, the impact of that really it restricts the drinking hours and also restricts children getting into areas which are designated as, for alcohol consumption. It's not necessarily a bad bill. It's actually being touted as a health bill. But obviously, it will pose some challenges for large players in the industry with regards to how they're going to operate their business going forward. Obviously, they need to change their modes of distribution, and we've seen East African breweries trying to, do deliveries for their keg products. Sort of just because the fewer hours for drinking means probably lower consumption. But I think the impact of that will be seen on their first half earnings when they're released sometime in February.